No matter where you go in the world, being black often comes with a lack of respect, and that's because Africa isn't respected. The way a country is seen on the world stage directly affects how its people are treated. When you look at powerful nations like China and the US or European countries, you see that their people walk with a certain level of confidence because they know their homeland holds weight. But Africa? It's been stripped of its power, exploited for centuries, and kept in a position where it's seen as weak. And as long as Africa is viewed this way, black people everywhere will feel the impact. How other nations command respect. Number one, China and Chinese people. China has built itself into an economic powerhouse. They manufacture, control industries, and challenge the West. Because of this, Chinese people abroad get treated differently. They're not seen as weak. They're seen as a people with a nation that backs them. One that has global influence. Two, the US and Americans. America has positioned itself as the leader of the world. Whether people love it or hate it, they acknowledge its power. When Americans travel, they have privilege simply because their country is seen as rich, strong, and influential. Three, Europe and Europeans. Countries like the UK, France, and Germany have been dominating for centuries. Their history of colonialism, wealth, and control over global systems makes sure their people are respected wherever they go. Number four, Japan and Japanese people. Japan is small, but its influence is massive. It's known for technology, discipline, and a strong national identity. When Japanese people go abroad, they're seen as intelligent, innovative, and part of a country that doesn't take orders from anyone. Why black people in Africa don't get that same respect? Colonialism and exploitation. Africa was robbed of its resources, culture, and power. European countries carved it up, stole from it, and left it divided. That kind of history doesn't just go away. It still affects how Africa is treated and, by extension, how black people are seen. Economic control. Africa is the richest continent in resources, but it doesn't control its own wealth. Foreign corporations, corrupt leaders, and outside forces make sure Africa stays dependent. Without economic power, respect is hard to demand. Negative narratives. The media controls perception. Africa is always shown as poor, war-torn, and in need of help. Rarely do you see its strength, innovation, or culture being celebrated on a global scale. Lack of unity. Nations like China and Japan ensure their people move as one. Meanwhile, black people have been separated by slavery, colonialism, and systemic oppression, making it hard to stand strong as a collective. Weak political influence. Major global decisions are made by the West. Africa barely has a seat at the table in institutions like the United Nations or World Bank, so it's constantly dictated to rather than being in control of its future. How this can change. The only way black people gain real respect is if Africa rises in power. That means owning our wealth. No more letting outsiders drain Africa's resources while its people struggle. Building strong leadership. African countries need leaders who prioritize the continent, not foreign interests. Changing the narrative. We need more black-owned media, shaping the world's view of Africa and its people. Global black unity. Whether in Africa, the US, the Caribbean, or anywhere else, black people need to move with a shared purpose. Until Africa is seen as strong, black people worldwide will keep fighting for basic respect. The key isn't begging for it. It's taking back control and building power that can't be ignored. Remember, circulate your black dollars in the black community.